the meeting, as well as if you need to use the restrooms, if you're here, they're right down the hall. At this time, I'll turn to our distinguished past vice president and current Toastmaster for the day, Miss Vicki
Yes,
Jones.
Vice President.
Past president, excuse me.
Oh. Thank you, Debbie. That was so sweet of him to fill in as sergeant at arms, but it's hard to introduce yourself. I mean, we can do it, but it's hard. Is everything set up? Can
Yeah,
people on the
go
phone
for
see
it.
me
You're
okay?
fine, go
I
for
can
it.
see you, well, I can see the people in the room, but I can't see who's on the phone. So I need a different view. So while Jonathan does that, that'd be great. There you go. Okay, where's Jay? Oh, look, there's Lamina, Latricia, DeAndre. Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of people on here. Hey, guys, good to see you all. We're in a very spectacular room. We have commandeered what's called the session room, and it's a big room, but it's a very huge conference table. So as you can see, the folks sitting around the conference table, it is just a much better setup for what we do. And we will probably be meeting in here unless the session has to meet. So we'll just all pray that Tim, you're a Presbyterian, pray that the session doesn't meet during our meeting time, okay?
I'm
Just
not
a
a
little-
Presbyterian. Can I still pray?
Yeah, you can still
Okay.
pray. I'm a Toastmaster for today. And as you all know, I'm going to start out with the theme. That's the hardest thing for me. I'm a bullet point person, follow 1, 2, follow the rules. I don't have a creative bone in my body. So it's very difficult for me to come up with themes. I have seen people that just falls right out of their brain, but no, not for me. So I was looking last night at some different things on the internet, and it just struck me. One of them was about autumn. And I got to thinking about the people in the past that have been in our club and how we learned from them, but they're not here anymore. In fact, they're not even here on earth anymore. And I don't want this to be depressing, but that's who I want to talk about today, are the people that have left our club and are not alive anymore. And the first one, if y'all remember, was Angie. And it's so funny because he didn't even know I was doing this today. And he comes in the room and he says, what happened to that British lady, that Black British lady, you know, about old like you are, Vicky? And
I did say that way. I did.
did you really?
Almost.
Oh, almost. I was reading your mind.
The implication was there.
And it was so funny because he didn't even know I was going to do this today. But yeah, she gave a speech one time. She was in our club for about 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, but she'd been in Toastmasters for a long time before she came to our club. She was in a club downtown. And she gave a speech one time, and it was about the different colloquialisms. Y'all didn't know I knew that word, did you? And the things like fixing. In the South, we say we're fixing everything. We're going to fix this. We're fixing to do this, everything. So it was hysterical. I hate that she couldn't give it a second time, but one of the things she said was, and that's my theme, it's time to watch the trees turn. Her friends wanted her to go to the mountains about this time of year in the autumn, wanted her to go to the mountains and watch the trees turn. And being from Barbados and not knowing what that meant, she said, I could not wait to go with the mountains, watch a tree turn. Turn around. You had to be there. It was funnier if you were there, but we learned so much from her. I was telling Jonathan, I loved it when she was the grammarian.
Yeah.
And she flat dogged us good. You know, when you get old like me, sometimes you can get away with saying things that younger people can't get away with saying. Yes, Jonathan?
Flat dog?
Flat dog? What's
Yeah.
that?
What you just said.
I didn't say anything about flat dogs. You don't need to make fun of me the way you say car.
My carriage.
I thought when he went to Raleigh, he said they had to take the car, and I thought he said cow, and I'm sitting here thinking, where does it take a cow to? But anyway, that's what I want to talk about today during the meeting, is some of the people that have been with our club and the lessons that we've learned from each one of those people, because they all impacted our lives immensely. But I want to start after that. I want to read to you, and the ones in the room that have agendas, you can read our mission statement on there. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. That is a mouthful, but that in a nutshell is what we try to do. It's not all about being a better speaker. It's definitely about that, but there's so much more. That's why I like to bring that up. And then our officers today, Dylan, our president, is in, where did he say he was going? St. Louis, Missouri, on business, had a conference to go to. Our vice president of education is Jeffrey Elon.
Yeah.
Our vice president of public relations on Zoom is Valencia. Our vice president of membership, Mr. Scott Davis, happens to be in the mountains again this week. He's moving into their new condo, so let's not even feel sorry for him. But anyway. Our new secretary on Zoom is Deandra. And our treasurer here in the room is Jonathan Weed. And then I'm stepped up to be the sergeant at arms. And I'm also the past president. That's no big deal. We lost Ted Wilson so far. He was our secretary. So that's why we made some changes on the officer committee. He did write to me an email because I told him how much I missed him, trying to make him feel better. And he started a new job. He said he's traveling a lot and he plans to come back after the new year when the traveling and training and all that dies down. But we'll see, right? He better, because he promised me, and I'm not going to let up on him. To be the Toastmaster of the day, you have to have people to help. So one of my helpers is our brand newest member, Miss Manana. Is it Manana? Yeah. I finally got it, y'all. Are you going to tell us about, you're going to be the timer? Yeah. Would you tell us what you're going to be doing? You can come up here.
Okay.
This is her first time, so.
Hi guys, well, my name is Mariana Finley. I am the timekeeper for today, and I will be introducing each speaker.
Just giving the time level.
I will be giving the time to each speaker. Thank you.
Good job. And it's a great time to be a first-time timer because all we have is table topics. So that's gonna be easier. You get a lot of experience with table topics today. And our other helper is Marion Counter, and that's Lamima. She's on the phone. Lamima, come off mute and tell us what you're gonna do, hon.
Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster. I am the grammarian on the counter. As the counter, I am going to be listening for crutch words and filler words like and well, and so as grammarian, I'll also be listening for the usage of how words are used, and our word of the day is not in there, but it's implacable. I'll put it in the ABLE
What is it?
is pardon?
What'd you say it is?
Implacable.
Implacable.
It is
Okay. Since I went to the dentist, my teeth are implacable.
a person who can't be appeased. Going into more of it, if you really offended your best friend and you've tried to every type of apology and they refuse to
Uh-oh.
speak to you again,
No, I think-
That is an example of what an implacable. It is a bird. It's derived from placate, which means to soothe or appease. So let's take the challenge and see if you could use that in your. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Yeah, y'all have at it. I know.
I'll post it in the.
I did my best when I came up. What was that word I came up with?
Oh, and you came.
Our,
Oh,
oh, never mind, never mind. And
Well,
general
you guys-
evaluator, who was that? That is Jeffrey. All right, Jeffrey.
My role today is to take note of everything that happens correctly and incorrectly in today's meeting, including closely monitoring Vicky for her management of our meeting today. Thank you.
You're very cute. And we're gonna turn over the meet. Well, I'll tell you about one more person. We had a guy in here, his name was, what was his name? James McNeil. He was the best sergeant at arms I have ever seen in my life. When you would walk in the room, the tables, he had to set up the room as in a horseshoe. We were over at the Stalling Civic Center, and every table was set up with the agendas in place, the placards in place, the ballots in place. I mean, when you walked in the room, it made a blueprint feel good to see everything so organized. And he was so much fun. And he's the one that on our mantra at the end, at the beginning, rock, flow, and grow. When he would do that, when he would say grow, he would kick his leg up way high because he was like over 90. And it was really neat to see him do that. I mean, he really added a lot. He got really into our greeting. And in case, just quickly, rock, flow, and grow started, I don't know, probably 10 years ago when we were in a speech contest. And two of our members, it was two contests that day, and two of our members, it was an area or district contest. Two of our members won. And I'm standing back at the back, loudmouth. It was a big room. I'm like, Matthews rocks, you know, and I keep blurting that out. So that's where the rock started. And then at another meeting, somebody was asked to describe the club using the letters FLOW, flow. And then, so then it turned into Matthews, Rocks, and Flows. And then somebody gave a speech about growing plants. So we picked up the grow. So that's where it came from. For all the new members, I have to keep telling y'all this because it's so exciting to me because it's our history. And that's why I get really excited, Tim, when Scott told me one time, he says, what is the deal with rock, flow, and grow? Can you please tell me? And that's when I thought, these people really don't know. All of our new members really don't know where that came from. And it's very exciting, I think. But anyway, let's do table topics. And Jonathan is doing that. And he is going to tell us what that is.
hello.
Hello.
Hello there. I noticed the meeting theme, the leaves falling. And it took me back to my time in Abu Dhabi. Spent 4 years there. And it was really wonderful because there was only 2 days where you noticed something happening with the weather. And it was when it changed from winter to summer and summer to winter. Now, the difference between summer and winter wasn't much. The difference in time between the longest day and the shortest day was only an hour and a half. So there wasn't much, but there's always 2 days a year. You would go out, and it was something in the air. It wasn't the humidity, it wasn't the temperature, it wasn't the pressure. It was just something where everyone went, yeah, summer's here. Or, yeah, winter's here. And that was it. That was the change in weather. It was really weird.
I just like to know. Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. And Arabic.
Yeah.
Now, I thought of many things for the topics today. I thought about newspaper headings, and you have to do a speech about what you thought it meant. But then I looked at the newspapers and went, that's just too depressing. Have wars and elections and no. Even the funny ones were depressing. And then I started searching online for ideas, and then I realized we don't have a speaker, so I got a lot list. Big list. Because we got nothing else. So all right, so I'm gonna do one of these. Okay. What gets you excited about life? And I'm gonna do this to Jake.
Woo-hoo, yeah. Take yourself off mute. It's so hard to remember. Jake, take yourself off mute.
The button's there somewhere.
I don't know if you can hear us.
No, he can't take himself off mute.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Okay, can you hear me now?
There you go,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I don't know how it just popped up randomly for me. Could you repeat the question for me one more time?
What gets you excited about life?
What gets me excited about life? Well, right now I'm excited because we're approaching the holiday season. I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to me is like the pregame for Christmas. You get to be with all your family. You get to do everything you do at Christmas, but you don't have to buy gifts and all that stuff. You just get to spend time with each other. And I think that's how Christmas ought to be anyway. You shouldn't have to worry about all the gifts. I'm also excited because my son has a birthday coming up on December 6th, and he'll be a year old. So we are planning for his birthday right now. We're going to do a Winter Wonderland themed birthday for him. It's also going to be his first Halloween, and he's going to dress up as a lion against his will for Halloween. But I would say right now, just October 1st through New Year's is where I get excited about life. That's where all my favorite things are. That's when I usually see all my family and do all the things I like to do. It's also, I don't know how some of you guys may feel about it, but I'm an avid hunter. So hunting season is also coming up. I do a lot of deer hunting and stuff, and we eat a lot of deer meat. So that's got me excited. We have muzzleloader season coming up, or black powder season, so to speak. And that'll be coming up soon. And that's always a big deal for me and my dad. So yeah, I'm really excited right now for everything this time of year.
Oh, and the pumpkin for Thanksgiving.
No pumpkin spice.
When I lived in urban Sumter, no, sorry, the woods of Sumter, it was out in the middle of nowhere. We had friends who went hunting, and every once in a while we'd get a phone call saying, hey, there's a deer at the processing plant for you to pick up. Nice. Always makes me happy. I almost asked you, Jake, about the pumpkin spice, but I thought better of it. It was actually on my list. All right. If you had to teach something, what would you teach? Tim.
Oh,
Good afternoon, thank you. Well, as it turns out, I do teach two things. The first thing I teach is Sunday school and different Bible principles. I think the specialty I have is covenant theology, which is a reformed topic. Basically, it goes through the Bible and demonstrates how the Bible is organized by covenants, and they ultimately lead to the advent of Christ and his fulfillment of God's full plan for his people. And the theme of the covenants is, I will be your God, and you will be my people. And that's what covenant theology is. The other thing I teach is investments. I've been doing that for quite a while. Bought my first stock in 1982, Computer Science Corporation. The stock doubled within like 6 months. I sold it, thought I was a genius. Only a few years later, it had gone on 10 times, tenfold that number, and then I realized those would be the things that I would teach. Thank you.
Hey, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, you taught at, church.
Yes.
I'm an elder too.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
You didn't want to bring that up.
No, that's not age. I'm the elder age.
Although, that's part of it.
What about this one? We're gonna do this one. I like doing this
He's
list.
got a cheat sheet. That's not
I
fair.
do have a cheat sheet. I've already asked Jay. I've already asked someone in the room. Let's go to. Yeah. What has life taught you recently, Lamina?
Lamina.
Can you repeat the question? I think I heard it, but if you can just repeat it again.
What has life taught you recently? Short and sweet.
Life has taught me recently that I need to do more self-care. I need to take care, focus more on myself because I take care of a lot of people. I take care of my mother and my children, and I have a husband and other obligations that I do. I do a lot of service in the community, always taking care of others and doing things for other people, other places. And I tend to forget myself. And I've been experiencing some health issues that have raised that importance for me to make sure that I take care of myself, because if I'm not well, then I can take care of others. That has been the important thing that life has taught me recently. Thank you.
Yeah, life always throws us curveballs like that, doesn't it? All right. Jeffrey. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Cool. So, what lifts your spirits when life gets you down, Vicky?
I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that. He is notorious at that. Yes, that proves the point that I'm always saying, ask the question first. Because I knew he was gonna do that, so I was listening. What was the question again? What
What
brings
lift-
me up? Oh,
What lifts your spirits when life gets you down?
okay, you've known me a couple of years. And really, you think I get down that much? No. I saw another theme that I thought about fun, laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. So Lamima, I need to show you how to put laughter in your life. I'm just teasing, but I'm with Lamima. I went to the doctor the other day and I'm so healthy for my age and she's like, what do you do? I said, I keep my doctor's appointments. That's what I do. And I was talking to my client this morning. She was talking about her husband wouldn't go to the doctor. I said, well, if he did go to the doctor, which men don't typically like to go to the doctor, they don't do what the doctor says afterwards. So what's the point of going to the doctor, right, Tim? If you're not going to do what the doctor says. My late husband, noticed late, was notorious about that. And he's not here anymore. But anyway, what do I do if I were to get down? I don't know, because I really don't know that I've ever been down. So, but I appreciate the question. I'll have to think about that and let you know. Exactly.
Yeah. I brought back memories of my doctor's visit recently.
Oh, yeah,
Here's a tip, get tested when they tell you to.
yep, yep.
All right. If the doctor gave you 5 years to live, what would you try to accomplish? DeAndre.
Oh, yeah.
So for the doctor gave me 5 years to live what I accomplish, I would definitely travel more. I've never been to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, never been there, so I'll definitely travel there. I would just probably just go on a long vacation, whatever money I have saved up, and just go travel for a couple of years. Going to places I haven't been, maybe definitely take my immediate family, but being able to see my other family as well. Just really go to places I've never been, do things I've never done. I've never, jumped out of a plane. That might go down to 1 year then. So it's kind of that might be my 4 years and a half when I might do that part. Snorkeling, haven't done that yet. I haven't been on a cruise. Just the little things like that. I would probably just travel more, do more experiences, and so I can leave my family with a lot of memories. Thank you.
That was sweet. Oh, by the way, you can just do you can do skydiving in Dubai as well. So two birds, one stone. All right. Let's see, what else can I throw at someone? Ooh, I don't know if I can do that one. Weird. All right. Let's do this one. Jeffrey, how have you changed in the last 5 years?
For real, Jeffrey?
Yeah, for real, Jeffrey. I like that one, Jeffrey.
How have I changed the last 5 years?
I know.
I think I've become a lot more patient with myself. For a long time, I was so impatient about I should be here making $100,000 a year and doing this and doing that, and all my goals are kind of external to myself. I think once I kind of realized that my purpose was a little bit different, serving people my capacity as far as home ownership, both as a work for Habitat for Humanity for the past 5 years, has really changed my life. Seeing people with so many options, well, so many obstacles against them as far as being low income, having different health issues, just being able to go into people's homes, and because we have a big critical home repair program. So I made my life less about myself over the last 5 years. For a long time, I was pretty selfish, just trying to make the most money I could. And I think getting married once sells you down, having kids sells you down, but really seeing what others go through. Sometimes I go home to my house, be complaining about stuff, and real I have no reason to complain. I would have one of the better life than I ever thought I would have. So I think accepting that and accepting my role in life is what's changed in the last 5 years.
I like that. I went on a scout thing recently, a leadership course. Does anyone know the book, The Seven Successful Habits of, the 7 Habits book?
Right.
Everyone knows that. By the end of that course, I was just like, oh God, no, not again. So, what book has had the greatest influence on your life? Valencia.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. There have been several books that have influenced my life over the years. I've read quite a lot. This is one of my passions. I think if you'd asked me this question a year ago, and throughout my life, there's this book called Sacred Pampering Principles by Debrina Jackson that I give as a gift to every woman I call a friend, because I think that we all need to learn how to pamper ourselves more. We give so much every single day to all different directions, and a lot of times neglect to turn it this way and take care of ourselves, even in the most simple ways, like maybe your favorite cup of hot chocolate or tea or something that would just lift your spirit. But now in the past year, and also throughout my life, and I've also given this as a gift, I've been reading the Bible every single day. And I have to admit, my pastor made a comment a while ago about being Bible illiterate. And he asked for people to raise their hands, and I didn't raise my hand because I felt shame. Every time I start reading the Bible, I'd stop because I was thus and thou and what and who are you talking to? I don't know. I didn't understand. But then my aunt told me to read the Message version, and I love it. I can't get enough. So the book that has had the most profound impression on me throughout my life, but especially in the past year, is the Bible. Because guess what? I'm literate. Thank you so much for that question, Mr. Tabletop Master.
Oh, yeah, there's so many different Bibles. Actually, we used to listen to the Bible on tape in the car, but it was a King James version done by this old British guy. And I had to stop because it was putting me to sleep. So, what is your happiest memory? Letitia. Sorry, I'm bad with me.
My happiest memory. Happiest, I feel like I've had a lot of memories. Probably my happiest memory, probably when I think back of my childhood, it was one with my dad. And we were going somewhere and we were coming back from a trip, and I fell asleep in a car. And when we got back to the house, I woke up, but I pretended that I was still asleep so he can carry me. And I was probably maybe like 10 or 11. So I could definitely walk by that time. But I pretended that I was asleep so he would carry me. And he did as I thought he would. So he opened the back door and just picked me up over his shoulder. And I just fake sleep so he could carry me in the house because we had a good time together. We were out probably at a park or something, maybe Niagara Falls or whatever. And he just carried me in the house. And that was maybe one of the only memories of my childhood that I remember with my father actually carrying me. And it was a day that we spent together. So when I think back, that was one of my happiest memories, was my dad carrying me into the house.
I love that. I would say my happiest memory, but I probably cry. So seeing a man cry is not good. So, yeah, and nothing. All right, what's the best decision you've ever made, Lynette?
Did you say Linnell?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, girl.
So I think the best decision that I ever made was a hard one, and it was back in 2019. I had been with my company at that time for 26 years. The only company I had really worked for. So I somewhat had grew up within that company, and the company made the decision they wanted to relocate to Virginia. And I was offered an opportunity to go to continue with the company and go move my family to Virginia. At that time, my mom, she lived with me. She was living and she lived with us as well. And she had some health challenges. And I didn't really want to move her as well as my kids, with the new school. But I was scared because I was complacent. And I knew my job. I could do it with my eyes closed. I was good to go. But I had to make that decision on what was really going to be best for our overall family. And I took a step out on faith and I didn't go, and decided to pursue another opportunity. And it was very hard for me. It was very bittersweet because, again, I had grew up in that company, had a lot of friends there, a lot of colleagues, a lot of memories. But it was one of the best decisions that I made by not moving with that company to Virginia, because in my new company, where it took me 5-10 years to get promoted, within a year I was already promoted in my new firm. Salary went out the roof compared to where I was, and it's just been a very great experience for me. So that's my response. Thank you.
That's cool. I actually read a short story once that was actually really bad, so I never did anything with it. About stepping off a ledge. And when you do things like that, when you know, you're given an opportunity to move and you say, no, I want to just step off the ledge and do this instead. And you get caught and it's so much better than what you had before. It's great. So what's something most people don't know about you, Leanne?
Make the best for last.
Yep.
All right. Jeffrey, can you comment?
Yes.
What was the question again?
What's something most people don't know about you?
Oh,
Thought that was a good one for her.
That's perfect. What is something most people does not know about me? I'm a single parent with 3 children. My oldest son is 22, 21, and I have a 16-year-old daughter. Also, I just became a commercial broker. I've been in that particular field for a year now. I started out as a residential broker and worked my way up as a commercial broker. I am 40 years old. I have a birthday coming up on November the 6th, and I will be in Myrtle Beach for 3 days. Something you guys may not know about me is I'm trying to lose weight. I just started a diet today. And that's really it. Thanks, Stephanie.
Nice. I actually think has everyone had a Toastmaster table topics thing? I think so. Everyone's had one.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good job.
I like that.
Yeah.
We got everyone. By the way, November 6th, I do believe I'm correct when I say clocks change.
Yes, it does.
Oh, you
Yes.
get an extra
November
hour
6th.
on your vacation.
So, over to you, Toastmaster. Oh, times, yes. Let's do the times.
I have Jake at 1 minute, Tim, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Lamima, 1 minute, Vicky, 1 minute, 16 seconds. DeAndre, 58 seconds. Jeffrey, 1 minute, 3 seconds. Valerie, 2 minutes. Latrice, 1 minute, 6 seconds. Lanelle, 1 minute, 42 seconds. Mayana, myself, 1 minute. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm sorry to say this, but are you sure you got Vicky's time right? Because that was under 2 minutes.
1 minute, 16 seconds.
Okay, just had to check.
Nice try.
You know, I love you, Vicky. You know that, don't you? Anyway, over to you now, Toastmaster.
Okay. I'm popping right up. Wait on me. Thank you, Jeffrey. Everyone has a ballot that's here in the room. So what I want you to do is fill out the best table topic at the bottom.
Speaker. Right?
For the best table topics, but yeah, what did I say?
Well, it could have gone either way. It could have been
Okay.
The topic itself.
Okay, so go ahead and vote, and the people on the phone, if you would send me a chat message on my phone, because I'm the only one that's on the phone in the room. And we'll see if we can't come up with a winner on that. And also on your ballot, the ones of you in the room, you can also give feedback to each of these roles. Even Toastmaster, there's not one for Topics Master. You can give them a little encouraging feedback. We used to do this a lot more, and then since COVID, we haven't really gotten back into the swing and doing everything we did when we met in the room. And General Evaluator is going to be Jeffrey, which he's going to give his report in a minute. But I was thinking while you're casting your ballots, I was thinking about James McNeil, the guy that I just told you about. believe it or not, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody really knew him in here. I think he was shorter than me, than I am. Yeah, Tim, I think he was, or either the same height. But he didn't wear heels very well either. But there was one day that we were in the room, and he was a real nut, and I loved him to death. And a guy came in that to visit our club, and his name was Danny Green, and he was about 6'4". And I, like an idiot, made the statement, which I commonly do a lot. And I said, I just love men that are tall, dark, and handsome. Now that goes way back. That's that's a saying from years ago, and I didn't mean anything by it. Tall, dark, and handsome. And he stood up and he said, so where does that leave me? And I thought we would just die because he was short. You know, oh no, my jokes are not going over today. So
I felt sorry for the short guy.
but he was a character. James was a member for several years, and after he left, he was a policeman in another life, and he was also a school teacher. And he was trying to start his own business and make some money so his wife could retire, because she worked in a factory and she was in her 60s also. And he had been retired for a couple of years. And just out of the blue, several months after he left the club, somebody wrote to me and said, James died of cancer. Had no idea, didn't know he was sick or anything. So, but he has always left an impact on my life, that as did Angie. So anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to keep death in a positive mood.
That's in a positive.
So Jeffrey, you want to give us our general evaluator report? And while you're doing that, I'll try to collect the ballots. Take a long time.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The meeting started off a little late. Vicki was trying to explain roles to our newest members. That's understandable. There is a major issue we are having here the last couple of weeks. We don't have speakers. And of course, the primary purpose, tabletop is great, but we hate to have a whole meeting on tabletop. So I encourage members to please sign up for speeches. Vicki has encouraged me to reach out to you guys individually. So I'm going to reach out to you guys over the next week just to get something on the schedule, including myself getting something on the schedule. So I do want us to be able to at least have one speech every week. And those of you who have not given your icebreaker yet.
I've been trying.
Yeah, you have. You're on the road. So Jonathan excluded. He's given several speeches over the last couple of weeks. I know we have a couple of members that have not given their icebreakers yet. So if you guys want to work on those, and those who have given the icebreakers, get ready to maybe give your second or third speech so you can complete your first lesson. But that being said, I think we have, what, 10 or 12 members here today, which is really awesome. I'm really happy about that. Please continue to show up as your schedule permits, and overall great meeting. Thank you, guys.
And we had agendas today. We got dinged last week about not having an agenda, so we made sure today we had our agendas, didn't want our agenda evaluator to get us again. And the last person I wanted to bring in was named Joan Lewis. Joan was a member of Toastmasters for over 40 years. And most of the time she was in Florida. But when she moved with her family, she moved in with her daughter when she was in our club, she was 80 years old because we had an 80th birthday party for her. And she was a little tiny thing, probably 4'9", weighed probably 80 pounds, but she was a ball of fire. Let me tell you, she was a spitfire. We were over at Christ Covenant Church, and we met over in the youth house, and my office was next door to the youth house. And so we started at 12:30, right? So I'm sitting there, and she wasn't sergeant at arms, but she would get there an hour early it was on Friday then, and set up the room for the sergeant at arms. So whoever had that job really had it lucky while she was in the club. But it took her an hour to get it set up too. But anyway, I looked up and Joni's standing at the window outside my office going, at 11:30. Or 10:30. No, I think it was 10:30, something like that. Her watch, she had looked at the time wrong. I said, Joni, it's only 10:30. She was like, oh, okay. But she was so cute and she helped us so much. She would go around to the members and talk to them and say, are you using the skills that you're learning outside of Toastmasters? Wasn't that a good question? That's something to think about. That's what we all should be doing. So be thinking about that, whether it's at home with your family or your job or your church or wherever the influence is, use those skills you've learned here. And we loved her so much that we actually came up with an award, and we actually awarded that award several years. It was called the competent communication, something like, it was called the CCC. I can't remember now. It's been so long. She's been passed away 6 or 7 years. But it was, how have you used your skills outside the club? And we would give a little plaque to whoever won it. And for about 3 or 4 years, we did that. Yeah, it's still on the Easy Speak page, so you can go look at it and see what it was all about. We could reinstitute if y'all want to, but she was a delight. When she passed away, I was good friends with her daughter because I had gone over there a lot when she was sick. She lived close to where we were meeting, and me and a couple of the others would go over there because she got so bad with the cancer that she couldn't even come to the meetings. But they asked me to do a eulogy at her service, and I was so honored. It was so much fun. And you know, she's the one I was telling you last week had the clicker. Whenever we'd say she'd click. She's the fastest clicker I've ever seen. Boy, I tried doing the clicker one time, and you gotta be really fast to catch people saying ums and ahs and stuff. But they wouldn't even hardly get it out of their mouths where she's clicking. But at the end of the eulogy, I told people that when you get to heaven, just look, Joni and I will be running down the streets of gold with our clickers together. But she was a lot of fun. We learned a lot from Joni. So let's see, what's next? I think we have a winner. Oh, you want a grammarian report? Lamima, are you still there? Take yourself off mute, Donna, and give us that report.
All right, yes, I am here. Thank you. For the Oz, Jake had 3 ums and 1 so. Tim had 3 Oz. I had 2 Oz and 1 but I probably had more than that. Vicky, you had a so and 1 but. DeAndre, 1 Jeffrey, 1 1 so. Valencia, nothing. Very good.
Oh, boy.
Latricia had 1 so and 1 whatever. Linnell, we run together. You had 10 but good job. And Moniana, nothing for her. It's very good. I didn't count anything.
Cool.
Good
Did
job.
anybody use the words today?
No.
Oh, I can't even pronounce it, let alone use it in a sentence. Thanks, Lamima. Let's see. Now can we have a winner? The winner of table topics. Can we have a drum roll? No, it's Valencia again. Speech. Where's Valencia? There she is. Oh, she's got her pageant wave going on. Way you go, girl. Well, it just shows she's been around longer than most of us except me, and I'm never gonna win unless I'm not competing with somebody and then I'm shoe in. Just teasing. Okay, let's see. Oh, gosh. Oh, that clock's not right. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock.
And it's 1:20.
Okay, well, that's good. Jeffrey, do you want to close out the meeting as the vice, as the president? Because he's not here. Thank you, everyone.
Dylan didn't provide me with any, feedback to give today, but I just, again, want to encourage everyone to get their speeches in and see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Good job.